गौरवशाली राष्ट्र के निर्माण व विश्व कल्याण के लिए प्रतिबद्ध माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी को धन्यवाद और उत्तराखंड के युवा दूरदर्शी मुख्यमंत्री श्री पुष्कर सिंह धामी को शुभकामनाएं।
आइए और 6th वर्ल्ड कांग्रेस ऑन डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट में सम्मिलित हों और आपदा प्रबंधन में भागीदार बने।
साथ सोचेंगे, साथ लड़ेंगे और साथ जीतेंगे। गौरवशाली राष्ट्र के निर्माण व विश्व कल्याण के लिए प्रतिबद्ध माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी को धन्यवाद और उत्तराखंड के युवा दूरदर्शी मुख्यमंत्री श्री पुष्कर सिंह धामी को शुभकामनाएं।
आइए और 6th वर्ल्ड कांग्रेस ऑन डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट में सम्मिलित हों और आपदा प्रबंधन में भागीदार बने।
साथ सोचेंगे, साथ लड़ेंगे और साथ जीतेंगे। गौरवशाली राष्ट्र के निर्माण व विश्व कल्याण के लिए प्रतिबद्ध माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी को धन्यवाद और उत्तराखंड के युवा दूरदर्शी मुख्यमंत्री श्री पुष्कर सिंह धामी को शुभकामनाएं।
आइए और 6th वर्ल्ड कांग्रेस ऑन डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट में सम्मिलित हों और आपदा प्रबंधन में भागीदार बने।
साथ सोचेंगे, साथ लड़ेंगे और साथ जीतेंगे। गौरवशाली राष्ट्र के निर्माण व विश्व कल्याण के लिए प्रतिबद्ध माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी को धन्यवाद और उत्तराखंड के युवा दूरदर्शी मुख्यमंत्री श्री पुष्कर सिंह धामी को शुभकामनाएं।
आइए और 6th वर्ल्ड कांग्रेस ऑन डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट में सम्मिलित हों और आपदा प्रबंधन में भागीदार बने।
साथ सोचेंगे, साथ लड़ेंगे और साथ जीतेंगे।
नमस्कार, मैं हूं पुष्कर सिंह धामी, मुख्य सेवक उत्तराखंड। भारत हमेशा से ही वसुधैव कुटुंबकम का प्रतीक रहा है। हाल ही में संपन्न हुआ G20 सम्मेलन इसी भाव को आगे ले जाने का सफल प्रयास रहा है, जिसका श्रेय माननीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी को जाता है। इसी प्रयास को आगे बढ़ाते हुए उनके द्वारा दिखाए गए मार्ग का अनुसरण करते हुए उत्तराखंड राज्य 28 नवंबर से 1 दिसंबर 2023 तक 6th वर्ल्ड कांग्रेस ऑन डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट का आयोजन कर रहा है। आपदा एक वैश्विक चुनौती है, इसलिए इसके प्रबंधन के लिए भी पूरे विश्व को एक मंच पर एक साथ आना होगा, नए तरीकों पर बात करनी होगी, अपने अनुभव साझे करने होंगे और ये सब करने के लिए हिमालय की गोद से अच्छी जगह और क्या होगी, क्योंकि सदियों से खड़े ये अडिग हिमालय ही तो हैं जो विश्व को धर्म का ज्ञान, अध्यात्म और योग का पाठ पढ़ाते हैं। तो आइए और 6th वर्ल्ड कांग्रेस ऑन डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट में सम्मिलित हों और आपदा प्रबंधन में भागीदार बने। धन्यवाद।
About the accommodation till 2nd, the hotels where you stay is available. For additional day, you will have to write and give name to, I will give the name of one person in the team, maybe during tea break. Just say if you are staying beyond 2nd in that hotel, the administration will organize either the same place or an alternative. They are very happy to look after our international delegates, but it's important to inform, and that's the kind of understanding we keep. Any questions from the audience? Shout or come to the mic. Any questions? Yeah. Are the volunteers ready? I request people to be seated, please? Writing and all that, while you are seated, they will come to you. Let us not crowd up. May I request that you please be seated? We will start the plenary session. Otherwise, we have a very short turnaround time. Speakers will not even get 10 minutes at this rate, so we have to move fast. They have come all the way. Please be seated. Don't allow any crowding. Those writing the names, please move to their seats and get the names. Please be seated. Please be seated. Our volunteers are waiting to bring the plenary members upstairs to this place, to the dais. I would like to request Professor Sanjay Jasholaji to please come up. One of the volunteers, please accompany sir. Our co-chair, Professor Samantha Ray. And we have a second co-chair, Professor Sudha Arora. Would you please usher them in, bring them up? Our volunteers, please identify and bring them out. I'd like to request Professor Tatsuya Ishikawa also to be on the dais, and Dr. Teshome Tamirat. Professor Chandan Ghosh, are you here? Mr. Jochen Ramcke, Dr. Elshan Ahmadov, Professor Unnat P. Pandit, Shri Gipson, Miranda. Would you please come up the dais? The list, because of the changes, they are finalizing the list, but I would like to request the chair, Professor Sanjay Jasholaji, to give his opening remarks, and from now, sir, you please take over the entire session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ray. Good morning, everyone, and it's a pleasure to welcome you all in this last plenary session. It's a pleasure to be part of such distinguished panel and people of eminence. The title of this plenary session is Inclusive Framework for Risk Governance, and this seems to be very apt as the last plenary session, because in the past 3 days, different sessions which have taken place. They started with understanding inclusivity in disaster management, leveraging technology for inclusive disaster preparedness, cross-sector collaboration for comprehensive risk reduction, community engagement and empowerment. And this seems to be very apt now at the last plenary session. We have seen that or post Silkwara, this becomes more important to have a set of standards and the policies in the form of a framework to reduce or to have the governance for risk reduction. I am told that this session is to be concluded by 11:15. So, and we have very distinguished people. We have Professor Sudha Arora ji, who has come from GB Pant University of Agriculture and Technology, Pantnagar. She is the co-chair. Professor S.D. Samantre, who is the professor and head of computer engineering from College of Technology, the same G.B. Pant University of Agriculture and Technology. The keynote in this session will be given by Ishikawa Tatsuya, the professor who has come from Japan. And we have distinguished panelist, Professor Teshome Tamirat, who has come, who is the director of Bamboo Desk and Inbar Focal Person for Ethiopian Forest Department, Addis Ababa. We have another panelist, Professor Chandan Ghosh, who is the head, and he has come from National Institute of Disaster Management, Ministry of Home Affairs. And we have Mr. Jochen Ramcke, who is the project head of ICRA, Government of India. So I'll ask if my co-chairs have to give their comments, and then we pass it on to Mr. Ishikawa for his keynote address. Because the time is very limited, there are hardly 45 minutes. I think I've taken 2-3 minutes, so 40 minutes. And 40 minutes are to be distributed among at least 6 people, and I assume that my co-chairs will support me and they'll take less time. So 40 divided by 6 comes out to be very less, but we'll try to give 7 to 8 minutes to our distinguished panelist. Would you like to say something?
Thank you, sir. Risk, basically, when we cover risk, all technologies also we have to take care. And nowadays we think that power, the risk for power, electricity, we have to cover that also. And whenever there is some disaster, there are some alternative sources available. So we can include that also, and that will be very helpful for all of us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Prof. Sudha. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Jasola. Very good morning to all of you, and it's a nice session. And the concluding framework will be very important for the part of the Dehradun Declaration. I wish that all the speakers will consider those aspects in the context of this conference. And we will be looking for some inclusive framework, including technology, soil, water, agriculture, weather, and all ecosystem based. And recently, we have seen that gross environment product is becoming a keyword. And let's see how with this session helps us in all these directions. Thank you. Welcome all.
Sorry, I earlier missed Dr. Elshan Ahmadov, who has come from Azerbaijan. Yeah. And Professor Unnat Pandit, who is the Controller General of Patents. Shri Gipson Miranda ji, who is the Executive Engineer, who has come from Goa. So I think now we can pass it on to Professor Ishikawa Tatsuya ji for his keynote address. Yeah, would you like to go there? Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, everyone. I'm Tatsuya Ishikawa, Hokkaido University from Japan. First of all, I'd like to extend my sincere thanks to the invitation to this excellent conference. I'm so pleased to be with you and to attend this conference, and also to have an opportunity to introduce our researches. Today, I'd like to introduce the Japanese early warning system for rainfall-induced landslide, which considers both the long-term rainfall index and short-term rainfall index. Then, I also would like to introduce the future research assignment under the climate change to improve the applicability and precision of the early warning system. Okay, first, I'd like to introduce the background of this research. Okay. And at first, I'd like to maybe you well know the 2013 North India flood and the one in the 100-year flooding in 2018 over Kerala, example of catastrophic rainfall-induced landslide in India. The most recent one being the 2023 North India flood in Himalaya Pradesh. So in Japan, typhoon-induced extreme rainfall driven the geo-disaster, such as shown in this figure, in this slide. For example, shallow landslide and debris flow are increasing under changing the climate scenario. So this slide shows the one example. In the damaged area between the Hidaka area to the Shimizu area, along the National Highway Route 274, we observed 10 bridge damage and 3 snow shed damage and 6 road pavement severe damages, and 47 cut and embankment collapse were observed. Total spot damage spot are 66 locations. Owing to the extensive damage, this road was closed for 1 year. So in Hokkaido, Hokkaido is a north area of Japan. Then we also have the snow melt-induced slope area. Snow melting season in Hokkaido is from March to May. About 40% of the small to large slope area occur during this season. The effect of the snow melt water is severe and for the slope stability in cold region. Therefore, we need to develop the precise prediction method for the slope stability problem by considering the effect of the snow melt water. Hokkaido is a cold and snowy island in the northern Japan. In winter, Hokkaido has a very cold temperature and more snow. For this reason, in Hokkaido, frequent slope failure occur during the snow melting season, as shown in this slide. However, due to the climate change, the number of the winter days is decreasing around 20 days in 100 years. And air temperature may increase around 2.4 degrees Celsius in 100 years. This will cause uneven distribution of snow and increasing the snow melt water. In addition, the number of torrential rainstorms over the 30 millimeters per hour is increasing. At the end of the 21st century, annual rainfall is expected to jump by an average 10% in Hokkaido. Number of the rapid snow melt by rainfall also being increasing. We call this phenomena rain on snow. By the end of this century, Hokkaido can expect more rain, less snow, and about a month of additional summer days because of the global warming. Next, I'd like to introduce the existing early warning system for the rainfall-induced landslide in Japan. It is very challenging to implement such a system in a new new geological setting. For example, in Himalaya or the Western Ghats in India, with limited comprehensive historical record of landslide and precipitation. This is an overview of TELEWS. From this figure, it turned out the rainfall is recognized trigger of the landslide, and researchers have long attempted to determine the amount of precipitation needed to trigger the slope failure. This figure summarizes the warning criteria for rainfall-induced landslide proposed by many researchers worldwide. In general, macro index for the prediction of rainfall-induced landslide adopt the relationship between the short-term rainfall index and long-term rainfall index. Intensity and duration, namely ID, threshold set at many places across the globe. As we can see, there is not one threshold that applies to all the places.
Professor Ishikawa, can we request you to conclude in 2 minutes?
Sorry.
Sorry, we don't have much time.
Okay. A brief of the TELEWS in Japan. This is a novel method and has advantage for the landslide prediction as it considers the hydrology of the terrain. So maybe this is a concept of the TELEWS in Japan. Maybe and we use the weather radar to estimate the rainfall. And we using the radar data, maybe we will estimate the soil water index as a long-term index. And then maybe if we use this system, we can precisely predict the slope failure for the heavy rainfall. But it is difficult to predict the snow melt-induced landslide. Then we developed the new method. Using this method, maybe we can precisely predict the snow melt-induced landslide. And also, we also apply this method to the prediction of the heavy rainfall-induced landslide. Then summarize. Maybe I will skip the future assignment, but maybe it's one of the future assignment. Maybe we need to consider the influence of precipitation habitation on the behavior of soil ground, and also maybe examine the influence of the dramatic snow melt caused by the rain on snow and on the slope stability. And then I conclude my talk. So maybe for promoting the disaster prevention and mitigation measures of the civil engineering structure with long service lifespan against the geodisaster in Hokkaido under unprecedented rainfall caused by the recent climate change, it is necessary to continuously conduct the various study on the potential risk of the never experienced geodisaster to upgrade the conventional design and prediction method. Besides, it is essential to establish the framework at earliest in which the industry, government, and academia can work together on the technical and social issue concerning the large-scale geodisaster prevention discussed in this study. So, in this case, there is a requirement to further study the influence of climate change on the geodisaster in snowy cold region. So, concrete measures should be drafted and implemented in the future while incorporating the suggestion and recommendation provided in this study. So this is a reference, and thank you for your kind attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Ishikawa. Thank you for sharing your experiences and the experience of Japan. This is one of the good practices perhaps we also should follow. Now I'll request Professor Teshome Tamirat to share his experience. He comes from Addis Ababa, so I think his experience will benefit us. Thank you. Prof, if I can request you to restrict yourself to... Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, everyone. My name is Teshome Tamirat. I'm from Ethiopia. My presentation really talks on disaster risk governance strategy in Ethiopia. My point is I'll talk on the governance structure, how the institution is implementing DRR in Ethiopia. And we have also developed a national strategy for mitigation of disasters following the Sendai framework. So I'll talk on these 2 points. Ethiopia, amongst development countries, we are really been affected by man-made and natural disasters. Out of the many disasters that we are exercising, drought is a very important issue for us. For instance, this current year we have been affected by severe drought. So we have almost estimated about 20 million pastoral community have been affected by drought. This drought have been happened because of the climate change impact, in fact. So regionally, Kenya and Somalia also have been affected by such kind of drought. The loss of livestock is many in terms of numbers. So the Federal Disaster Reduction and Management Commission is an institution mandated to handle the situation of disaster-related risk. This is the governance structure that we have at federal level. We also have regional offices as well, which are working together with the federal institution. So Ethiopia has designed inclusive strategy for women, disabilities, and marginalized people in disaster-prone areas. The mandate of this institution is implementing Disaster Risk Management Commission. This is the institution enables to withstand impacts of hazard and related disasters, establish effective and people-centered, inclusive, decentralized disaster management system. So the federal institution will guide the regions in a very well-coordinated manner. Our approach is multi-sectoral approach because we include agriculture, forestry, health, education, all in the lowland and pastoral areas to mitigate, to apply this strategy for the implementation. The strategy designed in 2017 following the Sendai framework, so that it has 7 main strategic goals that is mainly deals with to strengthen resilience through science-based methodologies to cope with disaster and losses. The second strategic goal emphasizes on disaster risk assessment, where we deal with areas that are hotspot areas potentially liable to disasters. The third strategic, we know this, following this strategic direction, we design project programs so that we can implement in areas where we have been affected by floods or droughts. So the third is promote enhanced international cooperation, including technology transfer, promote effective partnership with scientific and technology community through experience sharing, development of local, national, and regional exchange information on good practices. We know that we have seen India has a very good practice that will take a lot of experience from India, where we are going to apply to our national situations. Develop public awareness education existing disasters and establish strong early warning system. This is a very crucial issue because it's niche technology. We lost so many lives of livestock because we don't have a strong early warning system. So we need to learn on that more and share our experience to our country as well. The expected output from this implementation of the strategy would be to reduce eventually prevent the disaster risk and vulnerability, to address underlying factor of recurrent disasters. You know, the frequency of happening of drought in Ethiopia and the regional countries have become very short, and it's becoming recurrent. So we need to have to address through the strategy, designing sustainable projects and programs that really would mitigate the risks. So to ensure lives and protect lives, protect all disaster-affected population, to provide with recovery and rehabilitation assistance, we need so many private and public investments have to be pulled down to whenever the disaster happens. So to reduce dependency and expectation from relief, we have to strive for long-term solutions. We need to aware that this disaster is coming every year, so that we need to have program so that we can mitigate it rather than considering it as a risk to build resilience of vulnerable people. So in conclusion, the major component of the Federal Democratic Republic disaster risk management policy are aligned with the Sendai framework. We strive for reducing climate change mitigation. This is the real impact that have brought drought in Ethiopia and the region as well. So how we are going to cope up, we are working on the negotiations on UNFCCC to pull every resource that we have and the technology that we are going to seek to implement in our country at national scale. We have to have also the national adaptation plan, which is really important to adapt to this risk as well. Create better alignment to Sendai framework with the national strategy. And we need to implement this strategy. There should be a strong stakeholder cooperation. Multi-stakeholder approach is there. Many ministries should have to be cooperated cooperated to realize Ethiopian DRR strategy. So this is all I have for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Professor Tamirat. I think the questions can be taken later on if the audience has the questions. Now I'll request Mr. Jochen Ramcke come and give his thoughts.
Morning, everyone. Thank you for the invitation, part of this conference. I want to make it short because I know we don't have that much time. I think the main focus, what we heard so far, is how we address the issues we're having due to climate change, respect of risk reduction, risk approach. But I think also in part of the cooperation we are having as GIZ or the German government with India is the holistic approach, because it's more like, say, we need the smart cities, we need the critical infrastructure considerations, we need approaches, we need, for instance, very much also the awareness of the climate change within the communities and population, and to address those. And what we have done is, during the last negotiations between the German and Indian government, is just to focus on all three major approaches. And our main obstacle is climate change adaptation, mitigation, as well as smart cities, as well as vocational training. And during these negotiations, Germany has decided to, for the coming year, spend 980 million euros as a cooperation fee in order to drive and focus on all these obstacles. And we have heard so many very important sessions, and our idea is to extract and use as much as possible of those in order really to face and to reduce the impacts on us people, us humans, and especially with the focus on the most vulnerable ones, because I think if you see the impacts on the small villages, reducing the possibilities of having then the necessities in order to live with those, this is the major features, and we are very happy that we can continue this work together with the Indian government. And I thank you all for bringing all your concept ideas into this. And we hope that in the next few years we will strong enough to challenge together this approach. Many, many thanks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jochen, for such a short and crisp point of view. Now I would like to request Mr. Elshan Ahmadov. Please come.
Thank you very much. I'm coming from Azerbaijan. I'd like firstly to express my gratitude to the Indian government, government of Uttarakhand, president of this beautiful university. He gives us such an opportunity to be here, and distinguished our professors, chair, co-chairs, guests, fellow panelists. It is big honor to me to be in India. India occupies a very important place in the world map as geopolitically and geoeconomically. So India's contributions to the world Sustainable Development Goal will be huge with its beautiful culture and with its huge population. In the face of such challenges in the world, an inclusive approach is very important. We must work together to develop effective disaster management strategies that can mitigate the impact of these events and help affected communities recover as quickly as possible. Investing in infrastructure and systems that can withstand the impact of disasters and enable rapid recovery. It also means supporting affected communities in rebuilding their homes, businesses, and livelihoods. I would like to emphasize that another important factor is cooperation. Disaster management requires a coordinated efforts, as in the previous panels discussed my dear colleagues. So I want to jump to my other slide, considering the time. One of the critical components of disaster management also is water. Access to safe and clean water is essential for the survival and well-being of affected communities. In the aftermath of a disaster, water resources may become contaminated or dispersed. Overall, water management is an internal part of disaster management strategies to ensure the safety and well-being of affected communities. Okay. To assess how efficiently water resources are used in any country, the statistical database of the World Bank shows water productivity, total GDP per cubic meter of total freshwater withdrawal. In other words, we can say how many United States dollar in constant GDP the countries get for each cubic meter of total fresh water. I put it here some countries by a random method, except of India and Azerbaijan. I divided those countries into the groups, most sustainable water use countries, medium sustainable water use countries, less sustainable water use countries, and less sustainable use countries. For example, if you see to the table, Monaco, Luxembourg, Maldives are the most sustainable water use countries. Qatar, Israel, Germany are the medium sustainable water use countries. France, Poland, Russia, Turkey are the medium sustainable use water countries. Unfortunately, we see in the table, it is the World Bank's statistics that India and Azerbaijan are less sustainable water use countries. So we have much more to do, work together in this direction to make our water more sustainable. Also, I wanted to put here South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation countries. Its GDP per cubic meter of total freshwater withdrawal. Just Maldives, we can say that it has a medium sustainable water use. Other countries, unfortunately, uses their waters not sustainable or less sustainable. So I wanted to emphasize to this fact. So what can we do to sustain our water use? It will be better to be a part of the world international organizations and the part of the Water Convention. A Water Convention, a legal and institutional framework for water cooperation contributing to sustainable development, international peace and security. It is a unique platform to discuss the progress of water use cooperation worldwide under umbrella of the United Nations. Opened to all interested countries, with more than 130 countries exchanging experiences and knowledge to prompt progress in cooperation. If you will see this table, this is a status of individual East Europe and Caucasus and Central Asia countries concerning accession to the Water Convention and the Protocol on Water and Health. I just put it to these countries, also added the India. For example, I am coming from Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan is a downstream country. We supply 80% of our water resources
Mr.
by
Ahmadov,
transboundary
you will
waters.
have to rush.
Yes,
Please conclude
okay.
in 2 minutes.
Okay. So one of the important factors is to have an access to the Water Convention and the Protocol of Water and Health. What it will give us, just by one question, so it's supporting to achievement the Sustainable Development Goal, developed institutional platforms, improved management of transboundary waters, support from the community at parties, improvement of water management at the national level. Just for conclusion, I would like to take your attention to the actions that could be taken. For example, in the European Union, we know the Europe Water Framework Directive. They used the main action plan and supporting action plan to realize their plan and programs. Here I put it the measures and other measures, taking into account the time limits. I would like to thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Elshan Ahmadov. May I now request Professor Unnat Panditji, and I'll request him to keep it brief because the minister has already arrived. So I think you may take 5 to 6 minutes and then.
We'll save some time going there also. I'm going to touch upon little different dimension in the risk management. The innovation and intellectual property driven solution design and the different financial framework for the risk management. Whenever any disaster happens, we are in scout of the technology or solutions which is available and which may address this disaster. So whenever action happens, then we are expecting the desired result to come out. But unfortunately, it may work, it may not work. Like we have seen that most sophisticated instruments were also used, but it has taken a time. And whatever the traditional practice, which we call it as jugaad, that has worked. But then that was stopped at one point in time because of the risk involved into that. But we have never ever thought that even though the risk is involved, how this traditional mining can become a risk-free and also make it sophisticated with the most effective equipments. So there was a need on technological upgradation into this traditional practice, which people may call it a jugaad, but this is not a jugaad, this is a real innovation, which is best into the practice, and this has offered us the solution. We have seen this in the tunnel rescue operation. But now it's a time for all of us to think about making all such kind of solutions or techniques equipped with the technological equipments. And while we are doing it so, the role of intellectual property and innovation plays important, and all researchers need to study these techniques and make this risk-free and offer them the most advanced and sophisticated equipments. And while doing it so, financial investment plays a major role here. And while we are trying to bring this into the practice, this will require the most advanced mode of investment supported by the government, because government should be the first buyer as per I feel it, that this is something which is the essential need and government need to have this. The training and education to the disaster team also need to be planned in effective mode to use this kind of equipment, and maybe that is in need of the government buying. And government buying can be done most effectively. We need to have a resilient focused investment into the government, certain funds for the IP innovation or challenges which is required to design this kind of a solution may also be given to the engineering students. Most of the IIT and NIT students are working on the problem statements which is for the commercial activities, but this is equally a most essential commercial need. And I think we need to design a problem statement keeping in view this kind of a technological upgradation. And another aspect is also on financially the insurance into the innovation. The kind of disaster insurance schemes or the kind of policy framework which is designed, I think this is also in need of a complete revamp or need to think from the different standing position, need the incentivization in the sustainable growth so that we are not landing up into the disaster. My friend from Japan has also reported few Indian disaster. My Dr. Elshan has also mentioned about the food and the related challenges, which was, he has beautifully shown the entire graph. Why the disaster resilience is and the noise is going up? Because we are not keeping the balance into the climate or into the sustainable use of the natural resources. So that is equally need to have this and need to incentivize the kind of a people or technology using a less carbon footprint should be incentivized enough so that people are more tempted to develop, design and use this kind of a solution. I think this is the various modes to address the risk management, and IP innovation and the financial aspect need to have a equal balance in all the three. So many points are yet to be discussed, but looking into the time constraint, I would like to take a pause here. Thank you.
Good morning, respected Chair, Dr. Sanjay ji, respected Co-Chair, Dr. Sudha ji, and Professor Samantha ji, keynote speaker, panelists, and everyone in the audience. It is a pleasure to meet you all. I am Gipson Miranda, working at Water Resource Department, Government of Goa. It is an honor to present today on behalf of my state. Before I begin, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Honorable Prime Minister of India, the Honorable Chief Minister of Uttarakhand, and the organizer for the excellent arrangement and hospitality. The core topic for today's discussion is inclusive framework for risk governance. As everyone are aware, Goa is a small state bounded by Western Ghats and the Arabian Sea with coastline of about 135 kilometers. I am proud to say that Goa state has successfully completed NCRP Phase 2 project. The NCRP Phase 2 project consists of three components, which we'll see in brief. The component A, early warning decimation system. The early warning decimation system primarily consists of two components. One is emergency centers, and second one is erection of siren towers. And we are proud to say we have installed 37 siren towers along the coastline of Goa. How this works? Upon the information of the upcoming cyclone or any other disaster, the system is activated at SEOC and siren get triggered all 37 locations simultaneously with pre-recording messages which are audible up to 2 to 3 kilometers. And this will help to save lives, especially of fishermen communities. I'll just show you the small demo how the system works.
Attention, attention. Tsunami alert. Keep away from the beach. away from the beach.
Since we don't have time, I'll just read it. Then our second component, multi-purpose cyclone shelter. We have constructed 11 cyclone shelters in coastal area to reduce vulnerability of coastal community with cyclone-related disaster by creating world-class infrastructure. I won't go in detail, but it will take time. Then in component B, we have also done underground cabling work. That work was carried by Goa Electricity Department. And then we have also, in component C, we have also provided capacity building training and shelter level equipment. And finally, before I conclude, I would like to give my sincere thanks to the Honorable Chief Minister of Goa, the Revenue Department, and Chief Engineer of Water Resources Department for their support and guidance from time to time. I also acknowledge the efforts and cooperation of my entire team, including Mr. Sandesh Tari, who is present here. I also like to thank NDMA for their support. And finally, I'll conclude by saying, ना मोहब्बत ना दोस्ती के लिए वक्त रुकता नहीं किसी के लिए अपने दिल को ना दुखा दिए यूं इस ज़माने के बेरुखी के लिए वक्त के साथ चलते रहे यही है बेहतर लोगों के लिए जय हिंद.
Thank you very much, Mr. Miranda. So it was a great session where we got experiences from Japan to Ethiopia, Germany, and Azerbaijan. And Mr. Pandit added a new dimension of innovation in the risk management. I think I also wanted to say the same thing which you have raised, that we need to adapt technology. The technology advancements are there, and this is the time when we do not know when the technology is creeping into our day-to-day life. So technology is essential. It has become part and parcel of our day-to-day life. But yes, we should not forget the traditional values and the traditional techniques. With this, we conclude, and we thank all the panelists, all the audience, and my co-chairs. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I would now request Dr. Ray to present a memento and certificate to our esteemed guest. First, Dr. Sanjay Jasola. I would now request Dr. Sanjay Jasola to please present the memento and the certificate to our guests. Professor S.D. Samantare. Professor Sudha Arora. Dr. Teshome Tamirat. Mr. Jochen Ramcke. Dr. Elshan. Professor Unnat P. Pandit. Shri Gipson Miranda. And last but not the least, Professor Tatsuyu Ishikawa. Thank you so much.
Now the stage will be prepared for the valedictory ceremony. I want to thank our eminent panelists. We have given you very little time, but we will interact with them and draw more of their expertise. Please, I request all the panelists to come to the front. There will be a group picture. There will be a tea break, and in next half an hour, this hall will be prepared for the valedictory. Thank you very much.
Hello. Dr. Sharon Shahjahan Naomi from Kriya University, Bangladesh. If you are here, please come to the stage. Dr. Sharon Shahjahan Naomi from Bangladesh. Dr. Sharon Shahjahan from Bangladesh.